Welcome to the Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action. A talk show for great minds that create, inspire, impact, and evolve. Your Sister Speak Show experience will consist of special guest interviews, live performances, in-studio interviews, and live on-location reports. The special guests who will be on the Sister Speak Show are dynamic and impacting the communities with their passions. This is a talk show that will keep your mind and your soul informed, energized, and encouraged. We are a cultural renaissance platform that influences a climate that is conducive to who you are and who you strive to be. No reckless entertainment, just responsible listening nourishment. We don't go dumb, we go wisdom on the Sister Speak Show. And it is about making the known known. You are now activated. Welcome, my brothers and my sisters. You are listening live to the platform on the Sister Speak Show. This is your host, Ayana. How are you doing? I am recording live from Dallas, Texas. It is a solid 99 degrees, and I hope everything where you are is all right. No, this isn't by mistake. You are in fact listening to the Sister Speak Show, and you are listening to the platform, and it's me. How have you been? It's your sister, Ayana. And guess what, brothers and sisters? We have a special guest tonight this evening on the Sister Speak Show. She is a beautiful sister. She is self-made. She has a nonprofit organization called Faith Over Fear. Not only that, she has another business called Tailor Made Realty, and she also specializes in marketing and advertising. Brothers and sisters, my special guest this evening will be Taylor J. Yes. So if you have any questions about mortgage, anything, all your realty questions, please ask them. Do not be afraid, because we do perish for lack of knowledge. And I want my beautiful, wise, spiritually sound listeners to be equipped with all the knowledge that they can gain in order to be successful when purchasing your first home or purchasing your first of several properties, or even if you're in a home right now, what kind of wisdom can you gain? And that's what this sister will be here for us to provide us with that information. So listen, with the Sister Speak Show now being 2 years old, August 6th being the anniversary for the Sister Speak Show, I am absolutely blessed and I am grateful. We've been added to a couple more platforms to just get this podcast out to even more lanes. And if it weren't for you all, my special guests, as well as the special guest listeners, because I feel like my listeners are special guests as well, you all are a part of the ingredients that make this show be successful. And I am humble enough to say thank you so much. And I don't forget where my extra help comes from outside of it being from the Lord God Almighty. With that being said, I want to send a shout out to my husband. Thank you so much for your provision and how you helped me out today. I love you so much. Thank you so much. Now, brothers and sisters, let's get into it. We've got some upgrades for the show, and you can also check the Sister Speak Show live on IGTV. I only have one post so far, and it's a motivational post, but there will be more content for you all to view as you get to know the Sister Speak Show brand. With that being said, I got a couple commercial breaks for you, and then I'm going to get right on into a couple of things that I wanted to converse with you all about. I'm just so happy to see you, and I do that in quotations, to see you all, and for you all to be able to listen to me. I'm just grateful. I missed you all so much. So much has occurred, right? We all are going through so much, but I'm here and I'm so grateful that the Lord will not have it any other way. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Listening to the Sister Speak Show is even easier now with the new abilities available from Spreaker Skill on Amazon Alexa. With Spreaker on Alexa, you can now listen to the Sister Speak Show from even more places from all around the world. You also have navigation control, fast forward and rewind podcasts to make sure you never miss a second of your favorite show. And then you can ask for show recommendations like the Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action. A talk show for great minds that create, inspire, and evolve.
You are listening to the Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action. A talk show for great minds that create, inspire, impact, and evolve.
All right, you are back. I'm back. We're back. And you're listening live to the platform on the Sister Speak Show. Tonight's special guest will be Taylor J. And I am your host, Ayana Holloman. We are recording live from Dallas, Texas. It is a blessing to be able to just sit here and converse with you all. So let's just get into it. I ran across a video. Let me put this, I got to put this on pause. I ran across a video that was rather disturbing, and I'm sure we all run across about maybe 50 of those a day, whether it's a twerk video or whether it's a makeup tutorial or whether it's just some outlandish person who has decided to go viral with their ignorance. You know, well, this particular clip that I will play for you, it's just 2 minutes, has to deal with, some of the subjects that we're talking about this evening concerning real estate. But this particular incident happened to a realtor, and it just, in the beginning, it didn't seem like it was going to go well. But in the end, hey, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. And that is something that you need to be able to stick to and stand on. So I'm going to play the clip. I'm not going to tell you what it's about, obviously, because I'm going to play the clip. And then when I come back, let's talk about it real quick. And then I have another clip I want to play for you all. And then my special guest will be calling in soon after. Okay? So hold your peace because this clip is going to be very disturbing.
Cops race into action after a 911 caller says this home has just been broken into.
The house is for sale, but it's not an open house today. And I've just seen two male black subjects force the front door open.
An officer calls out to the two men he can see inside the house.
Come on out.
As cops approach with guns drawn, the suspect emerges.
Hands up!
Hands up, what y'all doing?
Tell your friend to come out too. Hands up.
Then the other guy comes out.
Well, people saw you forcing your way in, that's why we're here.
But a big surprise is about to happen.
I'm a realtor.
That's right. Turns out he's a realtor, and he's interested in buying the house. The men are cuffed, and the prospective buyer has this to say.
We was white, though, y'all. We would do the same thing. Quit playing the race cars, okay?
Their stories checked out, and the men were let go.
What about that? So we can only go by what's reported to us.
This is the neighbor who called 911, and he turns out to be a retired cop.
Better be safe, sir.
Now the realtor and his client are suing the city of Cincinnati, claiming they were illegally detained. Jerry Isham has been a realtor for 32 years. Were you confused why they were there?
Well, yeah, I just did not believe that the police were there for us.
Police union spokesman Daniel Hills insists the officers acted correctly.
The idea being pushed out that this is a racial thing is absolutely silly. To handcuff somebody that is potentially a felon is the proper thing to do. It makes everybody safer.
I had a question for Anthony Edwards, the would-be purchaser. Did you end up buying the house, Anthony?
Well, no.
Just before airtime, the city of Cincinnati told us they have settled with the realtor and his customer and regret what they call an unfortunate and unnecessary situation. The two men will receive $151,000. Cops and other city employees will be receiving training.
Okay, welcome back to the Sister Speak Show. You are listening live to the platform. I am your host, Ayana. And whoo, goodness. That clip was brought to you by Inside Edition, and that was for educational purposes only. Okay, let's just get into it. I'm not going to just spend a whole time spewing over it. First, we're just going to go backwards forward. $150,000 because I went into the wrong home. I'm supposed to be there because I'm a real estate agent, and you all have compensated me for that. Thank you. However, let's just talk about integrity. Let's just talk about dignity. Let's just talk about, not being embarrassed. Let's talk about ignorance, because anybody can be ignorant. Anybody at any time can spew hate and disrespect, but this just happens to be what we see the typical characters to be. Esau and Jacob, a black man, a white man, a black woman, a white woman. These are just the common two characters that come along with the script. And, I'm all for Neighborhood Watch. Look, I need to know what's going on in my neighborhood. I thank you for the neighbors who are sober and vigilant and care about protecting where we live. However, if you are using those particular skills with malicious intent in order to spew your dinner time table rants and in order to MAGA, Make America Great Again, then, we do have an issue, and what you are doing is wrong. Not only is it wrong, it's dead wrong. That means that it should have never even been born. This type of ignorance can cost someone's life. Making these type of calls. If I'm going into the home as a real estate agent, I need to be able to handle my professional duties. But it was the detailing of the call, suspect, forced their way into the home with a key that actually turned the lock. See, this is an issue. And the nonchalantness, how nonchalant the chief of police was and whatever. I mean, it was as if they were zombies, no heart, no compassion. I will always say this about the police force. Thank you for what you do when you do what you're supposed to do. However, no thank you. And you can take that and back to the pit of hell from which it came from when you use tactics in order to bring my tribe of people down because of your low self-esteem and potential inferiority complex. It was unnecessary. I feel like since he was a former police officer, he should have even had a better set of skills in order to gauge and be like, oh no, this isn't what that is. Or even have gone over there because, some people are curious and they'll walk over to you and say, hey, what's going on, guy? People are curious. But the way that was handled was wrong. Now, okay, thank you for my $150,000, but I need to know, am I splitting this with him? I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just saying, but do we have to split this? Because is this the Family Feud budget where all five of us got to split $20,000 and this car? Because I don't know. No, we were both offended. We were both disrespected. So we both need to have $150,000. See, I know my math, and I did not hear what I was supposed to hear. And if it would have been $1 million, okay, thank you. Thank you, and a public apology. Okay, great. I can smooth it over. But this is something that even though you will pay me today for it, who's going to pay me for what happens at the supermarket tomorrow? Who's going to pay me for what happens on public transit? Who's going to pay me when I'm just trying to go to my mailbox or to the end of my driveway? The situations may not always pan out that way. And another thing, just an aside note, I just wanted to add, I'll add this side note after I say this. Shout out to all the real estate agents who have had to encounter this type of ignorance, this malicious intent. Keep your head up, stay strong, be aware of your surroundings. And I would hate to have to say that you would have to call into the local police department to let them know that you are a Black real estate agent going into a predominantly middle class, maybe white neighborhood, and you're showing a home. And you would like to be able to enter into this home safely without anybody accusing you of not being there. Not being there with a purpose, shall I say. Now, side note, the police officer training has to do better. It has to how can I say it? It has to encompass something that can make people say, okay, I don't mind calling you and I don't mind being in your presence. It has to encompass a set of skills to where I can use my taser before I have to shoot you 10 million times. Okay? Because I feel threatened. The devil is such a liar, isn't he? With that being said, moving forward, to those of you all, and if you have anything to say, would you like to share your thoughts? Please chat with us live at the Sister Speak Show. Keep your comments respectful, but please keep them, yours. I want you to express yourself genuinely, okay? Now, moving forward, with people moving from state to state, looking for a location where they can afford to live, feel joy, feel free, and not feel like the weight of the world is on their shoulders because the cost of living is so high. I ran across another video, and it's titled Texas versus California. How do they compare? Now, I moved from California to Texas, and I moved from Texas to California. So I have experienced both aspects, but one was when I was in my former, and one was as I'm in my latter. So we're going to play this video, and if you're thinking about moving, let's listen and see. I always encourage you to do your homework, do your due diligence to make sure this is the right thing that you need to do. Wherever you're trying to move to, study it, understand it, what's going on, so you just don't get out there and get whooped because you don't know what's going on and you end up dropping the ball temporarily. Make sure you know where you're going, why you're going, but for whatever it is, I am a strong advocate for fleeing in order to go into a land that has not been possessed, that has been promised for you. What? Yes, this is the Speak Show. I am your host, Ayana, and I'll see you on the other side of this clip. Thank you for being a wonderful special audience. I missed you all so much. I'll see you on the other side of this clip.
And size, Texas and California have not only driven the U.S. economy since records began, they are both also among the largest states in terms of population and landmass. But when you put these two giants head to head, and with all else being equal, just which state edges it as the most super powerful, awesome American state? In the red corner, we have the Lone Star State, famous for its once independence, as well as its massive landmass and oil-producing megapower. And in the blue corner, we have California, land of movies, magic, technological giants, and fine wines. What happens when we match up these two powerhouses? That's what we'll find out in this episode of the infographic show, Texas versus California. California, the Golden State, with a population of 34.9 million, is the most populous state in America, and to put that population into perspective, almost 1 in every 8 Americans is Californian. Texas, on the other hand, is the second biggest state geographically, with a 268,601 square miles land mass, and if it were a country, Texas would be the 40th largest in the world, just after Chile and Zambia. Texas has the second highest population after California and was its own independent nation from 1836 to 1845. The Texas Lone Star flag has 3 colors: red to represent courage, white for liberty, blue for loyalty, and the white star added during the battles between Texas and Mexico during the 1830s for purity. After Texas was annexed as an independent nation in 1845, Texans retained the right to fly their Lone Star flags at the same height as the national stars and stripes. California has more national parks than any other state, with 9 of the total 59 national parks falling within the state's borders. It is also home to the world's tallest trees, the Hyperion, an 800-year-old redwood that is an impressive 380 feet tall and is estimated to contain 530 cubic meters of wood. Austin, Texas, meanwhile, is home to North America's largest urban bat colony, with over 1.5 million of the creatures roosting under Congress Avenue Bridge and eating around 20,000 pounds of insects every night. And if that's a lot of bats flapping around in the city, check out Bracken Cave, also in Texas, where over 20 million bats live, which is about the same number of bats as people living in Bangkok, Thailand, one of the most densely populated cities in the world. California became home to the world's first McDonald's restaurant in 1940 after brothers Richard and Maurice McDonald opened the first branch in San Bernardino. Now McDonald's has over 36,000 restaurants in 120 different countries, serving 68 million customers each and every day. Not to be outdone on the World Megacorp stakes, Texas's ExxonMobil is the world's largest publicly traded oil and gas company and the world's 10th largest company by revenue. In 2014, Exxon was the Fortune 500's second most profitable company with a daily production of almost 4 million barrels of oil. And as we all probably know, the world's largest movie industry by revenue is based in California. How much revenue? Well, with a global box office forecast to increase from $38 billion to nearly $50 billion in 2020, Hollywood is set to see a healthy future indeed. Hollywood is home to the Oscars. However, the award statuette was actually named after the Texan Oscar Pierce, whose niece worked for the award committee, and when seeing the award for the first time said, "That looks just like my Uncle Oscar," and so the statuette was named. California is the world's 5th largest supplier of food, with over 90% of the USA's supply of raisins, pomegranates, rice, peaches, plums, and pistachios coming from there. It also exports tons of fruit juices and wines. Texas is all about petroleum, and if it were an independent nation, it would be the 5th largest oil-producing nation worldwide. Just 34 of Texas's 254 counties are without natural gas, and the Gulf of Mexico is one of the largest offshore drilling regions, producing 463 million barrels of crude oil in 2012 alone. California has the 4th highest cost of living at 132% of the national average, while Texas has the 2nd lowest cost of living at 90%. California has a minimum wage of $8, while Texas has a $7.25 minimum wage. California was the first state to become a $1 trillion economy, and if it was a country, it would be the 6th largest in the world, surpassing France. Texas is home to the Bowie knife, named after Jim Bowie, and designed by his brother Rezin. On the subject of self-protection, in 2015, the Texas legislature passed a bill to allow concealed handgun permit holders to begin to carry handguns openly, and in Gun Barrel City, Texas, whose motto is, "We shoot straight with you," citizens are encouraged by legislation to carry a firearm. By comparison, in California, the gun laws are among the most restrictive in the United States. The gun death rate for California in 2013 was 7.89 per 100,000 citizens, compared with Texas at 10.5. It is still a hanging offense in Texas to steal or put any kind of markings on another person's cattle. It's also illegal to strip naked in front of a dead body or to let a camel run loose on the beach. And in Los Angeles, where sunshine is guaranteed to the masses, it is illegal to throw a frisbee on the beach without first having sought permission from an official lifeguard. So, which state would you rather live in, Texas or California? Let us know why in the comments. Also, be sure to check out our other video called Donald Trump versus the Average American. Thanks for watching, and as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you.
You are listening to the Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action. A talk show for great minds that create, inspire, impact, and evolve. Okay, brothers and sisters, welcome back. You are listening live to the platform. And that video, Texas versus California, California versus Texas, very short, very insightful. And so what did you gain from that? I think I gained the fact that stuck out to me the most was it is illegal to strip naked in front of a dead body. Whoever the powers that be that came up with that law, you should also make it be illegal for us to strip in front of some live bodies. Hello? How you just... No disrespect for those that have fallen asleep, but I'm just saying, though, they don't have to bear witness to some of the things that we see on a day-to-day basis based on nudity or partial nudity or clothes that should not have ever, attached themselves to someone's body. Not body shaming, just want to shift everybody into the right section and the right style. That's what it's about. If that is your shape, skinny, big, medium, small, whatever, thick, whatever it is what it is. But what I'm saying is, there's a section for the perfection. And for me to, potentially go to jail for stripping in front of a dead body, jail or insane asylum, Ayana, we want to talk to you about you stripping naked in front of the casket. It's illegal in Texas. I don't know if you knew that or not. And so we're going to have to apprehend you. Oh my goodness. Come on, sight for sore eyes. That is hilarious to me. But whatever you're going to do, make sure that you do study to show yourself approved. So when you do get to wherever you're supposed to be, that it is the right decision. And the best way to find out what you need to do next, or what is it that has been laid out for you, is always consistent prayer. Prayer is effective. It is a key. It is essential. It is a prerequisite, and it enables you to maintain your mental solitude, tranquility. It enables you to increase your faith, and it enables you to be able to trust God more. Well, I trust him all the way. I hear you, my sister. I hear you, my brother. But my confession is this: I'm learning to trust him more and more. And he shows me that through the circumstances that he has orchestrated in my life. I know for a fact that I can trust him, because he has several times stripped me of all my power and ability to even try to get in the way. And I'm so thankful for that. I'm so thankful that he tells me to sit on my hands. Stand still, So whatever you're getting ready to do, you need to make sure that prayer is the forefront of your day and your thought process, and faith and praise and a genuine acknowledgement for the fact that you are a sinner, and that you have been saved, you've been redeemed, and that you're walking in your redemption daily, right? And so you made a mistake yesterday. And so you made a mistake the day before yesterday. So you've been making several mistakes for the past 9 months, 5 years, whatever it is. What have you learned from it? How have you grown? Or are you stuck because you can't get over the fact that you're not perfect? But he is. And so with that being said, we're going to have to pull ourselves out of the doldrums and become, one of my favorite words now is activated. You have to activate. Remember when people used to activate the Jerry curls? The curl activator. It's not going to be a curl unless it's activated with the juices. Okay? And so I want you to, I don't want to say put your juices on your prayer, but I want to make sure that you activate. So you can definitely elevate. Okay? And even handle the times where you have to descend, because that's the balance of life. So when my special guest calls in, we're going to get right into it. We're going to have a wonderful vibe, and then we're going to go on about our evening and get ready for the rest of this week. And I expect everybody to be prosperous. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about mental health. I'm talking about being strong. I'm talking about being able to endure. And sometimes you may have to quit. Sometimes you may have to flee. Sometimes you may have to do something that you never thought you would have to do. But guess what? On the other side of that is this. A deep breath sometimes is worth more than a paycheck. And exhale. Peace of mind while on the grind. Yes, I like that one. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's get into it. Calling in live to the Sister Speak show. On the platform is my special guest this evening. Brothers and sisters, let's go ahead and give a round of applause for the Queen, Taylor J. And how are you doing, my sister?
Absolutely wonderful. Beyond blessed. How about you?
I am the same. I am so grateful that I get to talk to you this evening, and that my listeners get to embrace what they're about to receive from you.
Indeed. That's the same. I'm ready to give.
Okay, well, let's do this. So, brothers and sisters, as I said, my special guest is Taylor J. And I mentioned to you all before, she has a nonprofit organization called Faith Over Fear. She also has Tailor Made Realty, and she specializes in marketing and advertising. And so, brothers and sisters, I want you to take out your pens, your pencils, your notepad, or pull out your phone. I'm old school a little bit, so I was born in the 70s, so I'm borderline. Pull out your phone.
I'm a 90s baby, and I got my notepad right here.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's do this. So with that being said, everybody take great notes. Make sure you chat live if you have any questions, so we can just be better equipped for this experience that we're getting ready to embark on. All right, Taylor. So first of all, my sister, you doing all right today?
I am wonderful. You know, I have a philosophy that I don't have a bad day. As long as I wake up, then I can figure the rest out.
That part. I love it. I love it. So let's just give a little background on how we met. We both are, we're at the beauty supply store. I'm there working. You come in the line, and let's go ahead and take it over there. How did we meet?
Yeah, like she said, she was there working at the beauty supply store. I honestly don't even remember sis how we got on the subject of the podcast. I believe that we pretty much share the same views though on faith and things like that. I think that's kind of where it's steered to.
Yes.
And, I just love her spirit, and that's pretty much, we just kind of took off from there.
Yes, I love it. I was the blessing about being able to encounter the customers is that, everybody, you never know who's assigned to your journey, and just the vibe that we had. And once you started sharing all of what you do, I'm like, oh my goodness, she has to come on the platform and share all of this. I am all for sharing this platform. I cannot be successful without my village. And so, once you told me everything that you did, I was like, yes, this is a go. So let's just get into it. You have a nonprofit organization called Faith Over Fear. How did that come about?
Okay, so I was kind of in a rut trying to do things for myself business-wise, more so with a realty is what I started with, and nothing was really just taking off. See, the thing about it is you have to always do your due diligence before you are allowed to do your own work. Let me make it a bit more plain, which means you always gonna have to do God's work first before He allows you to have anything for yourself. So that is how I came about with that. It actually, I had gone to church one Sunday, and I was like, I don't understand what's going on. It's like I feel like I'm stuck. And then I had the T-shirt on. I actually bought it from Burlington, and it had Faith Over Fear on it. And I just liked the shirt because it was cute. And so I was just at the stoplight and had a great time at church. I mean, I was getting some insight on, a bit more clarity is a better word. And I just so happened to look down at my shirt, and it was like, wow, Faith Over Fear Ministry. And I was like, okay, that can be nonprofit. It says when I tell you I was on two wheels on the way to the house to start planning, because it just started coming to me like back to back to back to back to back.
Yes.
So then I started planning. I put my three best friends, if you don't mind, I'd like to shout them out.
Go ahead.
Yes, my babies, Kashana, Erica, and Miss Latoya. I love y'all. Oh my God. But I put them on as the board of directors. I just typed it up, made it real formal, printed it out, handed it to them, and I said, this is y'all job, and I don't want to hear no lip about it. and everybody was on board, and it kind of like surprised me, shocked me, and it brought tears to my eyes all at the same time. So I'm just like, I'm so blessed to have friends that want to first share the vision and then actually go ahead and put work into the vision to make, to bring it to life. And that's what we've been doing ever since.
That is a blessing. And it's amazing. You said you were on two wheels on the way to the house, and it just started coming to you.
I said, I can't get to this house fast enough.
That part. Yes, that part. And so, and then the Lord blesses you with, your sisters, and they're on board, and shout out to them because There's nothing like having a support team and for people to be able to share into your vision while still pursuing their own passions, you know, and here you are. So tell me what does this particular nonprofit ministry do?
Okay, so it is more so based on, if I may, I don't know the allotted time frame that we have, but if I could give some background about myself that can shed a little bit more light. Is that okay, sis?
Let me explain something to you about the Sister Speak show. Syndicated on Amazon Alexa. Are you kidding me? Yes, ma'am. I will sit back and listen. We need to know who you are. Yes.
Okay, then cool. Well, I got time. Okay, so let's jump into it. Okay, so and I do see my grandmother is watching. Shout out to Virginia Brown. She raised my sister and I. I just want to say that she was not a woman of many words. She was more a woman of demonstration. She taught via action, and I learned so much from her. She has no idea how much she means to me. Shout out to my mama. But she was just a woman, a Christian woman, a faith-based woman. Never heard her curse. Never heard her raise her voice, except for one time when she was trying to teach me how to drive, and I accidentally drove the corner of the Cadillac into the fence, and then she got upset about her car. That was the only time I heard her raise her voice. But outside of that, she was just a very studious woman, a woman of class, a woman of grace. She's just amazing, like a perfect angel, literally. She just always helping someone, and that's where I kind of get my heart from as well. I'm always looking to see how I can, do something. I see you liking my video, Mama. I love you. But yeah, so coming up in like a Christian home, yeah, she really did teach through demonstration. She taught through action. It wasn't a whole bunch of talking. It wasn't necessary because she taught in a way that it was like, this is the way that you're supposed to do this. Like any other way, you can do it that way, but this way will get you there quicker, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So coming up, of course, I was raised the right way. Everybody has their issues. Nothing is perfect. It just isn't. We'll save that for another topic. But coming up, I did decide to go my own way, and I made a lot of mistakes. I'm an open book. I really can't, I have to share my testimony. I kind of dibbled and dabbled in this and that, and had my time. And throughout my journey, I have always been, I always have run into women that have been through the same things that I've been through. And let me just name those off. I've overcome drug addiction. I have overcome being strung out, alcohol a few times, been in jail, out in the street. I've had a gun held to my head. I've been involved in several car accidents where I should not have made it. I just had a car accident about a month ago where I should not have made it out of that car accident. All I got is like a little bit of whiplash in my neck, and that is a blessing alone in itself. So, saying all of that, I push forward through whatever. So anybody that I come in contact with, and it's kind of funny that I always run into women who need my story, if that makes sense.
Yes.
They're going through something that I have been through, and then I tell them my testimony. Hey, I got through it, and you can get through it too. You know what I'm saying? Single moms, I'm a single mom as well. Things like that. It just kind of all go inside. I don't want to just overstay my welcome. I'm trying to touch on, here and there. But the whole base of the organization is to empower women. My three girlfriends and I, we always hear how it's like, y'all are so genuine with each other. It's never a backbiting. It's never a talking back, behind each other's backs. We are seriously like a unit. And I want to push that to the world. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Unity, because we live in such a corrupt system. The whole world is just, and we thrive on negativity, and that's just not who I am. I've never been a person of negativity, and it just isn't me. So I kind of want to focus on and also let me backtrack a bit. I was a very, I've always wanted to do stuff my way. If you tell me not to do something, like as a child, if my mama told me, she said, don't touch the stove. Now, my sister, she didn't touch the stove because hey, if she said don't touch it, don't touch it. But me, I'm going to go touch it because I want to know why. So I went and touched the stove, and it's hot. I said, okay, well, that's why she told me that. Don't do it because it's hot. So I've always, kind of wanted to know why in everything. You can't just tell me something. I need to know in depth. Why is this? Why do you do it this way, etc.
Yes.
So back on task. Anyway, I kind of want to. We are actually not want to. We're going to focus on. Now it is a faith-based organization, but we want to reach out to the people who don't even want to see a church.
Mm-hmm.
People maybe who have like church hurt, have a drug addiction, have issues with past hurt. Maybe they have been raped, and everything that I'm naming, I have already been through, and I have, with the help of God, allowed to been given the grace. Let me say this, to heal from it.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to pass that gift along. If anybody with any woman with any type of issues, I've pretty much been through it, or if I haven't, I know somebody close that has. And we just kind of want to provide first the mental ground, because the mental ground is the start. That's the foundation. Everything starts in the mind. Period. Point blank.
Yes.
No man, no woman, no car, no job, no money amount. It's not gonna make you happy. If you're not happy in the mind, and you're not stable in the mind, and you're not mentally together, you'll be chasing whatever you're chasing for the rest of your life.
Yes.
So I want to shed light on that, and then give resources. We're also just getting started with a credit repair service. Say a single mom, she's going through something, and we will eventually do like a giveaway and things like that. But starting it is, that part is for profit. That's a totally different part of the business. But we're starting with the credit repair. We're going to be going out into the streets, doing like street ministry, going downtown. And we do want to reach out to the homeless, but we also want to go up to downtown Dallas, to the top of that skyscraper, to the CEOs, and talk to them also about it, because some of them need some help too.
Yes.
Just saying, just keeping it real and raw.
Yes.
But that's our main focus, pretty much just giving back and helping to heal. My whole itinerary is to preach and teach and heal the land. I mean, and I don't mean behind the pulpit. I mean in real life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the whole basis of it.
I appreciate that. And I just have to let you know that when you come on the Sister Speak show, you're not taking up too much time. This situation was already predestined. So the amount of time that it's going to take is not mine to decide. I just go with the flow. And so what you had to share, everybody needed to hear. I have an international listening audience. I'm talking about people all the way in Africa, China, India, Soviet Union, South America, all over the entire world. And I'm blessed for that. And I'm so grateful that you get to come on here and share your story, because in those particular countries that I just mentioned, the resources are not the same. So for us to be able to have a platform such as a podcast to be able to get that information out, now we are equipping them, even though it may just be something with the size of a mustard seed, we're equipping them with knowledge and resources to let them know there's a different way. Now, addressing your testimony, I appreciate your transparency, because if you had never told me that, of course I would not have known, because you do not look like what you have gone through. And that is a blessing that the Lord God Almighty is able to clean us up very well in spite of how dirty we have been. And a lot of our dirt is because there are going to be other people along our journey who have played in the same mud, but they may not have the skill set to untangle themselves in their decisions that they've made. They may not be able to untangle themselves and forgive themselves and move forward, and then they become stuck. And so when you are honest about yourself, when you can say, look, this is what it was. Now, not what it is, but this is what it was. And there's still some things that I'm still being healed from, delivered from, and working out. But when you can be honest and say, look, I used to be, and I'm just going to speak on myself. I used to be promiscuous. And, you know, you can't talk about me being out there because I just put it out there. And so now what you were going to use to tear me down, I'm going to share that with a whole bunch of other people to build them up. Because if I can come out there and say, hey, I used to be a hoe. Now, not one that was getting paid for money, but I was out there. Okay. I was out there. I was doing things that I had no business doing. And now I'm not doing those things. Hey, sis, let me help you. And so what I love about your organization is the fact that there is no bitterness. You know, you're not bitter. You're not miserable. You're encouraged. You're vibrant and you're ready to help heal. And I think that is urgent. A lot of times we kind of like sweep ourselves and the things that we've done under the rug because we're ashamed. But I feel like if you have the emotion of shame inside of you, then you are not a lost cause because you're that much closer to repentance.
That's right. That's right. You're so right. You are so right. I always say that, and I always tell everything about myself, whether it be a new person that I meet, a new man that has taken interest into me. My motto is I expose myself so that nobody else can do it. You heard it from the horse's mouth. So I laid it out on the table.
That's right.
There's nothing to be ashamed of. You cannot throw anything that I've done in my past. Yes, I did it. I sure did. And I lived through it.
And lived through it. And now I'm on the top of it. I'm on the other side with a smile. I think a lot of times, you know, sometimes when, you know, you're out there and you're living your life, you can be in so deep of a pit that it's so magnified that you feel like everybody knows, everybody's talking about you. And that's how you even weigh yourself down with more shame. But I just want everybody to know that the very people that are talking about you also have to give an account for their life. They are not able to escape the judgment. They have to give a reason why they've done what they've done. So I don't want anybody to ever feel like you cannot come out and enjoy your deliverance. That's the problem. We have trouble enjoying our deliverance because somebody from back in 88 remembers when you used to do the Tootsie Roll. Well, the Tootsie Roll didn't come out in 88. When you used to do, when you used to do the electric slide, like they remember these things. Like people can remember when you failed, but when you start to succeed, it's a question. It's so I don't want anybody. We don't want you all to feel ashamed because you've been delivered. You should rejoice in that. Nobody should ever make you go back to when you were if you are no longer that now.
That's right. That's right. Yes. And I always say that. And I'm my friends say that I'm like a ray of sunshine. Just wherever I go, I light up. Whoever, whatever. I tell them I can't stand sadness. I don't like madness. I don't like, look, come here and let me cheer you up. And if I can't cheer you up, then I don't know what to tell you because I've handled some of the worst cases. It's just how I am because I've seen depression. I've been in situations that weighted me down. I've had to carry weight that wasn't even mine. Generational curses. I busted through all that. I busted the door down. So I know what it's like to feel that way and to feel like there's no way out. But indeed there actually is. But you have to keep working at it. And then it's just like a car. You can't just buy the car and then drive it and drive it and drive it. It requires maintenance.
Yes.
You have to change the tires. You got to keep air in there. You have to change the oil. It's a lifestyle change. I completely changed my life. I went from drinking every day and drugging every day to I tried to go out maybe a couple of weeks ago. I couldn't even hold my head up past 12 o'clock. I completely changed my entire life, my whole stilo, my entire everything has just changed. Like I'm just a totally different person. And then another thing, let me touch on this. When you change for the better, and it's the better for yourself. The people that were And in reality, it's not a personal thing. It's just that, hey, listen, I can tell you ain't changed, and I have. And if I go back to hanging back with you, there's a possibility that I might go back to what I used to do. So just to be on the safe side, because I love me, and that's where it starts. If you don't love yourself, ain't nobody else gonna love you. If you don't respect you, ain't nobody else gonna respect you. So just for the sake of that, I'm gonna have to leave you where you are. I'm gonna have to leave you where you are. And it's not even leaving you where you are, because if you need me, I'll be there. But I just can't partake in those same activities that you do.
Yes. And and also, you know, a lot of times we are really not aware of how much somebody really may just be praying for their own life because they know that they're in peril. And I'm just going to say this to everybody out there. There is no way, shape, or form, if I am walking or I'm living in a town and I hear that Jesus the Christ, the healer, is coming to town, you better believe that I'm going to be there. I am going to come running. I am going to hope that I can even just touch the hem of his garment, because I am sick of myself. And not only that, I've caught a glimpse, like you mentioned, carrying other people's weight. You know, let's get into that just for a little bit, because I had this epiphany about 3 months ago that I was no longer going to take up residence in the landfill of the generational decisions that were made before me. And I said that it's not until you literally get tired of smelling other people's garbage, other people's trash, seeing other people's decisions, that you say enough is enough. And sometimes you can become immune to the smell in the landfill if you've been there long enough. Your senses will get adjusted and you will find complacency in your position. But now, one day a gust of wind came through when I was in the landfill, and I smelled my mother's garbage, my father's garbage, and other people's garbage. And I said, no more. And I lifted up my hands spiritually, and the Lord started to show me a way to climb up over that which had put me under. And I started to climb, and it wasn't until I got to the top of that pile that I realized how much I looked like and smelled like the past. And I'm not talking about my past. I'm talking about 200 years. 200 years of stench, because they may not have been equipped. This is the way they did it. Whatever it is, it got passed down to me, and my shoulders are weighed down. And I just want to encourage everybody to understand this. Loyalty does not mean that you lose your wisdom and make decisions that will leave you not able to make it in life because you don't want to hurt mama's feelings, daddy's feelings, aunties, so on and so forth. You must make decisions for yourself that better yourself. And a lot of times we have this loyalty to family. And to me, when the Lord rescued me, my loyalty became strictly to him and anybody that he is assigned to my life. That's no shade. That's just how it is now.
Right. Exactly. That's right. You are so right. And it's just like that. I don't have anything to add because you hit it right on the head. And I always say this. I say that when I found out that I was dumb and I smelled and I could see all of my issues, it was an instant change because I didn't like it. I caught a glimpse of it, and it was like, hey, no more. I can't do it. And it is literally just like that.
Yes.
It's that quick.
That quick. And the mirror is your friend. Let me tell you all why. The mirror is your friend because the mirror does not lie. Now, we can put on a lie. And that's no shade. I love makeup. I love to get dressed. I love everything about enhancing my natural beauty. No shade, everybody. Understand what I'm saying? But the mirror does not lie. Whatever you're going through is going to resonate. And you will look at yourself in the mirror plain-faced, and you can see everything that is ailing and scratching at you from the inside. And it isn't until you get a glimpse of yourself the way the Most High God sees you that you just be like, oh, I got to make a change because what's on the inside is starting to spew on the outside. I'm looking
Right.
older than what I'm supposed to look. I'm looking stressed out. I'm having trouble smiling. My eyes look sad. This entire situation has me defeated, not only internally, but now externally, and everybody can see the side effects of my trials and my tribulations.
Exactly.
And so, you know, I can't twerk my way out of this one. I'm going to have to pray my way out of this one.
Right. You are so right. And it's just like that. Again, I don't have anything to add. That is so right.
But that's just the vibe that you are giving me, my sister. I love being able to talk to other queens who can be honest about where they used to be. I used to get a lot of flack for, you know, like I said, you know, my past, and people would bring up certain things. And it wasn't until finally that, like I said, that the Lord really lifted me and started to reprogram my mind that they did not have the power that they used to have over me. And, you know, just talking to you, I hope that this listening audience, whether they are listening on Facebook Live or whether you all are just listening from your homes, that you take a good look at yourself and you forgive yourself and you start working your way out of the trenches and stop listening to what other people have to say about you. But I'll say this. Now, when you do things, you know, you can create a reputation. But it does not mean that you cannot create a new reputation to where nobody will ever believe that you've done the things that you're testifying about today.
You better say that. I felt that in my chest.
Okay?
Good God.
That part. So, you know, here you are. You've come through many trials and tribulations. You know, your prayer life is strong. You have a group of friends who, a group of sisters who have embraced this nonprofit organization. How have you so far impacted the community with this?
So I'll just be out. First and foremost, I don't meet a stranger. I'm always, let me say this. I'm a very, very spiritual person. It's so deep. And people that are non-believers, they don't believe it. I myself, actually, I can be truthful and say I didn't believe it until I asked for it, and then I received it, and I know that it's real. I'm a very spiritual person, extremely spiritual. I mean, to the point where I can feel a person's sadness. I know, you know, it's really deep. We're not going to get into that because I'm not trying to step on nobody's toes or offend nobody. But, so pretty much what we're doing now, we're laying the foundation. Honestly, we are getting ready to have a vision party coming up. I believe it's probably going to be mid-September, just because of one of my sisters. Our grandmother passed away, so we've had to take time off to, you know, handle that.
My condolences.
Thank you. We appreciate it. And I'm one of those people that those are my sisters for real. And if one is not here, then I'm not going to make a decision without them.
Wow.
That you have to be here. And I told somebody that earlier, and they looked at me like I was crazy. And I was dead serious. I just looked at her and just blinked. I said what I said.
That part.
Until she get back, like I said. So things right now are just kind of on hold, but it's just, like I stated earlier, we're gonna get out here in the community and we gonna tear the club up, so to speak.
That part.
Literally, but we're gonna get out here and tear the club up. Like really, real life, make differences in people's lives. And people, let me say this. I went to I'm not gonna call no names, but I went to a women's conference or whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
You know those things? It's one of those things that people just do for money nowadays.
Yeah.
Throw it out there. And I was so disgusted when I left. I was so disgusted that I cried real tears in the car.
Wow.
Because I said, I just wasted. I'm not honestly a person big on money because money comes and goes. You'll get it back.
Yes.
So, of course, I spent money to be there, but I wasted my time and a good 3 or 4 hours of my time to be there. And all we did was, it was a bunch of unhealed women trying to tell unhealed women how to heal. And it was really a big, I can't say what I want to say, good God. But it was a big, just a circus. It angered me. I said, how can y'all stand up here crying and screaming and snotting? You ain't even healed. You're not even healed. You can't tell nobody else in this room how to heal.
Wow.
So I need you to go back to the drawing board and maybe we can try this conference again, maybe in a year, because it takes about that long to fully heal.
Yes.
And then you can try to tell somebody something. So I do want to begin doing women's conferences, but I'm currently making putting together like processes and exercises of the mind. And it also, let me touch on this as well. It is your diet. It is what you eat. It is what you watch. It is who you're around. It is the activities that you do, the people that you allow around yourself. I didn't just wake up like this. I had to check, like I don't eat meat. I don't eat any meat. Now that's just my sacrifice to get what I got. But I have like a plant-based diet. I haven't been able to work out here lately due to my injuries, but I'm normally in the gym. You know, you need that physical exercise. I always say no pain, no gain.
Yes.
If you can't take no pain, how are you growing if you don't want to feel no pain?
Yes.
Now, moving back on task. It's all of that. Like it's everything. It's how can you manage your finances? The type of people that you date. Like it's just a whole lifestyle thing. So I am working on a book. Let me just put that out there. I wasn't gonna say that, but I am working on a book, and it's my entire life in detail. And let me tell y'all, I wrote probably 3 chapters, and then sis, I went back and I read the chapters, and it was so heavy on me, and I was like, oh, that's some deep stuff. Then I was like, wait, that happened to me, like that. But like I'm healed to a point to where I don't even really, that weight that I used to have, it's not there anymore. And I want to push that out to other women. That's my whole point. It is to get you, if you're willing, and again, you have to accept it. You have to first, and then let me touch on this. You have to, first of all, again, like you stated, sis, look in the mirror. You have to look in the mirror, and you have to see the ugly stuff about yourself. And you got to look that ugly stuff in the face. And that's hard, and it's ugly, and it's crying, and it's snotty. And a lot of people do not want to do that because we like to walk around like we perfect. I ain't perfect. Ain't nobody perfect but the dead and God. And the dead is perfectly dead. They perfectly still. They ain't getting up. So you have to look that stuff. You have to look that stuff in the face and fix it. But again, that's accountability and acceptance. And a lot of people have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with it, none whatsoever. I like at all. Just like I had the car accident. I'm one of those people, I face everything head on. So I had 2 car accidents in about 3 weeks. So I said, okay, and I noticed that when I got behind the wheel, I was, antsy and anxious, like, oh man, something's going to happen. Like I'm going to have another car accident. So I took my little black self downtown, and I drove for about 2 or 3 hours. Because you need to push that stuff out. Because if you allow it to sit in you, then it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. That's just and I'm going to use that as an example. So, but back on task. We all off task.
No, we are not. No, we not. We right where we supposed to be. Keep going.
But you again, you have to look all that stuff in the face, and like you have to be willing to fix it. If you're not willing to fix it, then you're going to be in the same place that you was a year ago. Yeah. A lot of people are not willing to accept the ugly stuff about themselves. They don't want to look at themselves and say, a lot of people, I pass with that, I'm fine. I said, baby, you ain't fine. Look at all that shit. You're dirty. You're stinky. But okay, this is an individual thing, and if you feel like that, then that's you. I can only help you if you allow me to help you. And that's what I want to do. I want to touch as many people as I can before I leave this earth. I'm going to leave a legacy. I'm going to leave a mark. I'm going to touch many stages, and I'm just determined to do so. And that's what I'm working toward, period. That's it.
Well, brothers and sisters, I mean, what else can you say? No, I think what I love about your energy is that I know you're going to do it. Yeah. I can feel that you're going to do it. Now, a lot of the times, when you spoke about, I can just walk, you have the gift of discernment, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's a gift that I have. I also asked for the Lord to give me the gift of healing. And once he gave me once I prayed for that, I experienced trials and tribulations that were very, very heavy. And one day my cousin told me, he said, Ayana, you prayed for the gift of healing. What do you expect?
That part, I'm going to use your word. You better come on.
He said, what do you expect? He's like, you asked to do something that is serious. Do you think that you're not going to experience so you'll know how to heal? How can you heal if you don't know how to? And so he just, once he broke it down, it was like, okay, because it was, I'm like, dang, like, you pray for these, because the Lord is always looking for somebody who's willing to work.
Yes. Yeah.
The Lord is always hiring everybody, always.
That's right.
Always. Don't you ever say you ain't got no job, because the devil's a liar. He's always hiring, and he's just wondering, because he said the harvest is plenteous, but the laborers are few.
Right.
Okay. So, with me wanting to be a laborer, I just had to experience a lot of people at a high level. And, there's a term that they use called empath, where, you're empathetic. You are able to really feel somebody else's emotions. One of the things now, moving forward, one of the things that I've had to learn to do with this discernment is that I have to know how to get out of the way. I got to know when that this is a job for me to say a little 1, 2, 3, and 4, and when this is something for me to pray and pass on by. Because a lot of the times we can be so invested in wanting to help somebody that we end up trying to take on a throne task. And we got to know when, look, this is, he's ultimately, he's got it all, and he doesn't have to use us, but he's a good God. And so, hey, I'm going to use you as a vessel. And so what I've learned is that, like, the more you are invested in wanting to help people come out of darkness and to come out of their pits, you are going to experience situations where it's like, why is this happening to me? But that now you'll be able to meet a sister or a group of people further down the line and say, look, no, I went through that. This is what you need to look out for. You need to be aware of this. No, when you start to have this feeling, don't neglect it. It reminds me, I'm going to be transparent with you, Taylor. Okay. One day, this is back in my don't stop, get it days. Okay.
I love it.
This is back in my let me see you touch the ground days. Okay. All right. Now moving forward, I was in the party mode, and it was around 10 o'clock at night, and my friend was going to come over. We were like debating, should we go out? And I was like, let's go out to the club. So I'm living in, quote unquote, Richmond, California. And we were trying to go to San Jose, California, which is about maybe a 25, 30 minute drive, depending on how fast you drive. And now it's 10:15. She's at the house, and the Lord is telling me, don't go.
That's right.
He's saying, don't go. And I'm like, okay, I've just got these contacts in there, and I need everybody to see these green eyes that I have no business wearing. What do you mean? And I'm ready to pop it. I'm going. And so my friend came, and we're in the car, and it was extremely dark that night. It's nighttime, of course. Nighttime is dark, but it was very dark. We get on the freeway. We get ready to pass. We pass a boulevard called Carlson Boulevard, and the Lord says, you need to start praying now. And I'm like, okay. And so I start praying, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm just praying, get into Emeryville, and we get hit from behind at 80 miles per hour. Honda Civic. They hit us 80 miles per hour, hit and run. Our car, we were on the freeway at nighttime. Now it's 10:35 at night. The car is on it. It's turning on its side. I just remember from driver's ed, turn towards the skid. I yell at my friend, turn towards the skid. She does. The car stops. Two people who I believe to be earthly angels at this point appear on the right and the left-hand side of us, out of nowhere, assisting us on the freeway. The Lord held back the traffic. We should have been hit several times where we were. He held back all that traffic. And we did not get hit. The ambulance came, the police came, they escorted us, had to go to the hospital. I had to go through 3 months of therapy. My friend, she completely did the mannequin on me. I was more injured than she was, but she just broke all the way down, car totaled, and it was a complete disaster because I disobeyed.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was my fault. His orchestration, he still had mercy on me because I'm here to talk about it. But when he tells you don't go, don't go. When he tells you go, go. And when he tells you you better start praying, you better start praying. But what a fool of, well, I can't call me a fool because I believe in him. But how stupid of me to not listen to him, because I could have died, but he loved me enough to keep me. But I'm able to tell this to everybody about not listening and the cost and also the reward of listening. You know, it's not worth it, especially when you're going towards danger. Right. There was nothing that was going to benefit me from the club. Okay, a few phone numbers, a couple of dances, and then I'm still going home with the same low self-esteem I had when I left.
Right, that's right.
Okay, that part.
And I've done it. I did it many a time, and I had a couple of times sis, where I would just toe down, and it wasn't nothing but me not dealing with. See, when you don't deal with your issues, they sit under there, and then they fester. It's like food; it goes bad, and it gets to rotten, and then it goes stinking. Pretty much, it's what it do. So, and then here comes the alcohol, because I wasn't in a place to where I wanted to take accountability for what my part in the issue. So I'm drinking it away. When I tell you, on more than one occasion, one time in particular, I'm gonna just say this, and I did this a couple of times on the way home. Just beyond. I know I was intoxicated 2-3 times the level. When I tell you, I woke up about 6 a.m. on the side of the road with my foot on the brake. I had hit like the side of like the guardrail, and then I hit my head on the glass, and I hit my head hard enough to break the glass.
Wow.
But when I woke up, I had no injury. I didn't feel anything in my head, and then I just took my foot right up off the brake and drove right on home. And that ain't nothing but a miracle. This has happened a couple of times. It happened about 3 times, and then after that third time, I was like, okay, let me figure something else out, because I'm not gonna keep getting the same grace. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I had to. It was a part of the eye opener for me to, change my life around and really take a look at myself to fix it.
Wow. That is amazing. Brothers and sisters, you are listening to the platform on the Sister Speak show. My special guest is Taylor J, the Taylor J at this point in time. You all have heard it. I know you all have your ears pressed to your podcast listening device, and you probably can't even take notes at this point in time because you're just so inspired and encouraged by her testimony and the fact that you can never say God is not real, brothers and sisters.
That's what I'm saying.
Y'all can't say that he's not real. And I will never forget his son, Jesus the Christ. We cannot forget this aspect of life. If you walk around thinking that you are God, there is a doorknob that is more useful than you are. And you need to understand that is not who you are, and that you are his, and he really can do what he wants to with us. A lot of times people don't understand, like, we really are called to suffer. Okay. Right. You got to suffer. This is not an amusement park, brothers and sisters. That comes in New Jerusalem. That comes in the new kingdom come, where you get to experience the greater things of eternal life. But on this side right here, we're called to suffer. We're called to work. We're called to go ye therefore. And we're called to be obedient. He gave us a commandment. He gave us commandments. And, I don't follow all of the commandments. I'm not going to sit here and say that I do, but I know he gave them. And when he gave them, they were for us to have a specific guideline so we would not have to encounter ourselves so much because he's told us how to be. And the problem is we keep running into ourselves. We keep running into ourselves. And it isn't until, like I'm always saying, until you get sick and tired of yourself, like my sister Taylor has been discussing and like I have, been sharing. It isn't until you get to that point that you will receive the epiphany. I mean, you will continue to do the same thing over and over again. And then, like Taylor said, she said, okay, after the third time, I knew that I wasn't going to be experiencing this type of grace like this. That is wisdom, y'all. She has that's wisdom, because you have to have that type of wisdom to know. It's kind of like this. I have car insurance, but I'm not about to go out there and get in accidents on purpose just because I have insurance. It's there to cover me. So just because I'm saved, just because he will forgive me, does not give me the okay to just go out there and be reckless. Oh, he forgive me. Oh, he died for that. Play with him if you want to.
Period. Okay.
Play with him if you want to. I don't know if any of y'all have ever been slapped on the back of your head by a parent. Or I don't know if any of you all have ever been slapped by a parent or whooped by a parent. I can raise my hand on all three of those. And there is nothing like the right hand of God coming down upon your whole life and telling you like a TI is. I'm telling you, play with him if you want to. I ain't trying to say the Lord is like, I wish you would, but try him if you want to, because he's serious. I mean, a lot of people think that, and this is not, and I want to say this is no mockery, but a lot of times people don't understand the dynamic of who God really is. Like, he is all power. He is an awesome God. Do y'all know what awesome means? It means terrible. Woo. Now, how is he terrible, but he's good at the same time? Have y'all ever seen natural disasters? They're awesome.
That's right.
They're awesome. That's his glory. He is able to do what he wants, when he wants, how he wants, and you can't do nothing about it. The Bible says that he causes the plans of man to take no effect. So then I can clearly say that no weapon formed against me shall prosper.
That's right. You are so right.
Oh, so Taylor. Right. Taylor. What did you do? What did you do? Oh, goodness. I love these talks. So I want to get into Taylor Made Realty. Let's talk about that. What's going on with that endeavor?
Okay, so let me, I'm so glad you asked. I'm so glad that you asked about that. Now, with Taylor Made Realty, and also I want to spread a lot of knowledge about real estate. You do not need a real estate license to sell, buy, trade real estate. I'm going to repeat that one more time.
What?
You do not need a license. No, you do not. You don't need a license to sell, buy, trade real estate. You need a real estate license if you're going to work for Keller Williams or Caldwell or one of those companies. Any realty company, they're going to require you to have a license. But you can buy, sell, and trade without a license. I do it. And I operate in it legally. So what it is you can either, and my specialty is wholesaling. Now, wholesaling is where you pretty much is drafting contracts, and I also have let me touch on back on the credit repair. On the credit repair, I do also have like a proposal writing business, which is marketing, advertising, logo making, things like that, all of that. So as far as that, if anybody has any needs for those as well, then just reach out to me. But you don't need that. All you have to do, see, they have pulled the wool over our eyes for years. You don't need a license to sell. No. So what I do with wholesaling is I will find a property. However, I usually do single family homes, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage. Normal asking price. If it needs like, say, rehabbing or, like a little tender loving care, maybe $20,000, whatever it is. You draft all of that up, what it's worth, what type of work it's going to need. And then I am also connected to a group of investors, a.k.a. cash buyers. So I go ahead and I assess the home. the land, go through the whole community, wherever the block, wherever it is, look up the tax information, the zoning, all of that, and I put all of that in the contract, and then I locate a buyer for that, and pretty much what it is you are selling your equitable right, which means you are selling your equitable right. I'm sorry, they're reaching out to me. I'm like, okay, I'm getting treated to lunch. Okay, I so appreciate it. Thank you. But you're selling your equitable right to the cash buyer. So you're selling the contract. That type of deal would normally go. I don't really like to talk numbers, but if anybody wants to get into it, I mean, it's a really good thing, and it's totally legal. They have completely pulled the wool over our eyes because they want us to not work for ourselves, and that's why I have my hand in so many endeavors. I have my hand in so much, and then I'm actually pushing my girlfriends as well into that also, so that you can work for yourself. Everybody should work for yourself. I honestly push that to everybody and anybody. I have my hands in about 5 or 6 different businesses at this time. A lot of stuff I'm not speaking on because it's not established, but all you have to do is acquire the knowledge for it. We've gotten so lazy that we're okay with being told what to do. When you go to your 9 to 5, they tell you what to do. They tell you what to do. You know what you're doing when you get there, then you go home. You're miserable, you probably hate your job. Why not do something that you love? Start a t-shirt business. Start designing bracelets, shoes. Somebody is going to buy it because those are the things that we need. I always say, and the way that I came up with my idea, sis, is when I look for the problem. People are always going to need housing. People are always going to need credit repair. People are always going to want proposals. They're going to need advertising for their own businesses, things of that nature. And you create the solution, which is your business. And you sell it to them, and y'all are pretty much, it's an even exchange. You're helping them with their business, and they're paying you. You're paying your bills, or taking care of your children, or in my case, building a legacy, or in something to leave behind to my daughter and any of my future kids or whatever. So, and that's another thing I want to spread also, and when we get started with our conferences. So to begin to work for yourself, I want to do workshops. I ask people all the time, like, when they say that they hate the job, what are you passionate about? What do you like to do? Come up with a plan, and break the plan down from A to Z, and start at A, because if you don't start, you'll never know where you can go, or you just, and then if you at least try, then you at least know that you tried it.
Wow. I'm with you on this, because see, I'm interested in what this is just amazing to me, because I was saying to myself, like, I'm interested in getting my real estate license, and then here you go.
You don't even need it.
Telling me that the devil is a liar, and I have to, and I'm so glad. So I really am interested in that. How can we connect so I can find out how to do that, because I would love to do it.
Okay. So I would always recommend, and I actually just reached out to a couple of, I just happened to be out. I'm never minding my business. Like I say, I'm always in somebody's business. I don't meet no strangers.
Yes.
Just talking to people, just out. That's how you network, and you never know who you're going to meet.
Yes.
So I just happened to meet a couple of young guys, and I'm not that old, y'all. I'm only 25 years old. I just happened to meet a few people, a couple of guys that were my age, and they're doing wholesaling as well. And now we're speaking on doing like a whole business together, like a merger. But I would recommend wholesalers because it is first the easiest. It's like the step A of real estate. Like it's the number one thing that you need to know. You need to know how to assess a house, what type of repairs it needs, how much it's going to cost, the time frame. Just a little knowledge. If a house needs $20,000 worth of work, it should take 2 weeks to complete the work on that house. $10,000 should go into 1 week. It should only take 1 week to complete about $10,000 worth of work. They should work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. If they want to, Saturday, Sunday, they can. I really don't like to do anything on Sundays. That's just my personal preference. But usually we do Monday to Friday, get it in and out the way. Most houses don't need over $20,000. It should be a pretty quick flip. You should be able to make your money back pretty quick. But that's just a little nugget I'm going to drop, and then we're going to keep on going.
Yes, yes,
but,
yes.
I would definitely recommend wholesaling to start. It's very easy. All you have to do is network. There are Facebook groups. I've met cash buyers out in investors just in the stores, going to downtown, and just especially with wholesaling. It's just too easy.
Okay.
It really is. You just kind of gotta get. But we'll talk about that. I got you. I promise.
Okay, I have a quick question now. As far as how much would anybody need to have a set amount of money set to the side to even get started in this business?
No, because I started with $0.
See.
What it is, I've been blessed to be in contact with a gentleman that builds homes and has been building homes for years.
Okay.
And I took interest through him. And I was like, okay, well, I like design and homes and just the structure and everything like that. So he kind of walked me through the steps. And that's exactly how he got started. And he got started doing that about 20 years ago with wholesaling. So you would locate a house. Well, actually, I wouldn't say locate a house. I would first look it up. I mean, you can go to Craigslist. You can go to, and it sounds like a complete scam, but it's absolutely not. I got my first buyer from Craigslist.
Yes.
But you can go to Craigslist. You can go to, there are investor groups on Facebook, out networking. There's you look up the event like online on Google. There's investor like mixers every week. You can go out and meet people that all they need is wholesalers. Just wholesalers.
Okay.
So it's basically contracts. It's all contracts, all wording, and knowing what you're talking about, knowing exactly what knowing your stuff. Like that's pretty much it.
Well, we thank God for Taylor J on today. I mean, just when you're sitting down thinking that you're not going to make it, just when you've watched The Price is Right and nobody's called your name and told you to come on down, here you are getting ready to receive your whole new life makeover because of the wisdom of a 25-year-old queen who obviously has been here before. There's no way, shape, or form that you have not been here before. Because when you said 25, I said, I had to look around in my studio and look at my artwork and say, did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? And that's a beautiful thing because it enables people to feel comfortable with you. It enables people to have an opportunity to confess some things that they probably have never told anybody before. And it enables somebody to say, wait a minute, life is going to get better for me because this sister just came through and shared the goodness of the Lord and shared his glory on her life with me. And it's so electrifying and testifying that I'm ready to run on just a little while longer.
That's right, and you better, because I'm going to push you. I have, handed my cards out. I've met all kinds of people, and then when you have, again, like when you have that healing spirit, you kind of draw in people that need that.
Yes.
I have had people that just pour their whole lives out to me just because I'm like, well, why? I said, well, I'm like, okay, well, I got problems too, but apparently you need me, so let me go ahead and help you. So it's really a beautiful thing. And I used to always say and ask, oh, Lord, why me? Why am I always going through something? And it's always back to back to back to back. But then it always goes back to when I was 7 years old. And this is at 7, I said, God, I want to be a person that everybody can come to. Like everybody and anybody, any age, man, woman, gay, straight, purple, yellow, green, orange, white. It doesn't matter. I want to be one of those people that everybody can feel comfortable, coming to. And the journey has been a journey, good God. But I've gotten what I've asked for, and I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't take out a trial. I wouldn't take out a tribulation. I wouldn't take out anything. I wouldn't not out one mountain, nothing. I would keep it exactly as it is and keep on going.
Yeah, no regrets. I mean, if I had regrets, then I might not have ended up falling flat on my face and meeting the Lord. So I'm very grateful for my wayward, wretched, ratchet condition that I was in when he stopped by and said, you come here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was so wounded, and I'm so grateful. I think the key is for everybody to hear this is you have to be comfortable with being by yourself. is going to require you all having to cut some people off. It's very hard to do, but the Lord multiplies by subtraction.
That's
so,
right.
Look, okay, his math is really good. He knows how to carry the one. Now, when it comes to, your circle, you're going to have to do some really good looking around who's in your circle that needs to go. And sometimes it might even be you. Okay. Leave them there, and why don't you stage left? So make sure that we take the time out now to evaluate who's in our circle, or in our square, or in our triangle, and what needs to stay and what needs to go. Taylor spoke about maintenance. You're going to have to maintain that car. You're going to have to do maintenance, because if you don't do any maintenance, it will eventually, it will die on you. So it's time for us to do even more so of spiritual maintenance. And I also want to encourage you all to let it go. There is some, I put it to you like this. If you were born in let's just say you were born in 1960, and something happened to you in you were born in 1960, and let's say something happened to you in 1968.
Right.
And you have not let it go. That thing is still right there as if it happened 2 seconds ago, because you're still trying to wrap your mind around why it happened. And you're not successful because you don't sit high and look low, so you can't see everything. That's why you're so stuck on this thing. But I want to encourage everybody today to please leave the accident and go on and get to the chiropractor. Go on and get to the rehab. It happened. And I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but I'm going to say this in the nicest, most serious way. Get over it. It's a stumbling block. So when I say get over it, I'm not telling you, I'm not dismissing your genuine experiences. I'm telling you to get over it.
That's right. Yeah, you are so right. You are, because if they come, they are tests and trials for a reason. It comes to see if you gonna push through or you gonna stop where you are. One of the two. It's all a test. All of it. It's everything. It can either make or break you depending on your. I always say that it life is 90% of 10% of what happens, and then 90% of how you move forward, or if you move forward. So you have to definitely always be in tune with yourself, for sure. That's why I will cut it off in a minute. But my friends, look, y'all, this is me time. I got to make sure I'm good so that I can produce the best me to do what I was put here to do. That is very mandatory. Stop trying to please these people, because people gonna be here, and then once they get what they want from you, they gone. So get that out. Go ahead and clear it out the way.
That part.
But I always say that you definitely do have to learn how to be alone. And I live in it. I sit in it, kick my feet up, put my hands behind my back in that, and I'm totally fine with that. I know that's not how it's going to end, but that period of time, you can't bypass that. You cannot bypass that period of time at all. It's very necessary and very mandatory.
It is.
There's a lesson in it.
It is. And especially as us having the gift of healing, and, if you don't steal away, all of your virtue can be depleted from you.
That's right.
And you don't want all of your virtue to be depleted from you, because the crowd will gather and the ailing will come. People want to be set free. And when they see that you have a connection to the Most High God that they may not have at that time, they will try to touch you. They will try to pull that energy from you. And so you have to regroup. You have to refill. You have to regain. You have to put yourself on the charger, period. And that's just what it is. And some people may think that you're being mean. Some people may think that you're being neglectful. But the task that is set before me is bigger than what I even realize. And so I've got to steal away.
Right. So right. Yeah, so very right. It's necessary. And you just can't. And I used to be one of those people. I used to try to bypass that. I would be like, okay, well, I can or I can slide that in or slide this person in, absolutely not. And it went in complete chaos. And then I would have to start all the way over. And there's no point in doing that. That's just ignorant.
Yes, yes. And you know, and just in conclusion of that all, is just that we have to be careful, because everybody that comes to us really ain't got no problem. Some of them are real witches. And we need to be aware of that. There are witches and there are demons. And everybody that comes to you, they're not trying to get advice. They're trying to break down what has been built up inside of you. And when they are always coming to you with the same old issue, or they just say something every single time, you have to start, you know, so the sister doesn't have a wart on her nose, doesn't have a black hat, and doesn't have a black cat and a broom. It don't mean that she ain't a witch.
That's right, exactly.
And so we have to be aware of the spiritual warfare that goes on. We cannot sit here and pretend like the devil isn't real and he doesn't have imps and there is not spirits that can become attached to us and things like that. We have to be aware, because everybody that comes to us, sometimes they might be, you know, an assassinator. They're an assassin, rather. They may be a terminator. They may be an exterminator. You know, they may be a corrupted file. And you have to be careful, because everybody doesn't have a problem. They just want to tear down what you have established. And I say that just from me being married and having other married women look at my marriage from the outside and think that it is just perfect. And that's their own issue. But then trying to always come at me for advice or always talking about their situation to where I had to cut it off. Look, sis, when I see you, I have to also see your husband that you're talking bad about. And I don't want to have to keep holding my head down in shame, especially since you ain't finna leave him. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to redirect you to the Most High God, and I'm going to have to cut this off. And I found out that when you start to cut people off, once you have discerned that they're coming with that mess, they will flee, because that sister who I'm talking about, she moved out of my neighborhood 2 months later.
Period.
Yeah, stop coming to my house with the mess. This is too much. And so we also have to be careful about how much we tell and how much we talk about. We talk too much sometimes because we want to always go viral. You ain't always got to be live while you're living.
Right, that's right. You are so right about that. You said a mouthful, Dan. You are so right, and I'm one of those people. It's crazy that I don't. Well, let me not say that, because that's against the whole assignment. The platform that is arising for me, it's so funny because I'm always in the public eye, and as a leader, you know, everybody's going to watch the leader because you're the example. And I have always been one of those people that, like, I don't like to be in the front. I just want to kind of be in the back and just kind of chill. If I do something nice for you, I've said it. Don't tag me in no post on Facebook. Don't do no extra. Don't do it. I prefer you don't even tell nobody how you got it. Just you know what I mean. Just don't even do that, because I do it from the heart and not because I want to be seen or you know, people want that gratification and that whole from our peers, from people. Like, you know, they want people to think that, but you're not doing it from the right spirit when you have that type of, you know, outlook on situations like that.
Yes. Oh my goodness. You know what, Taylor? This is the beautiful thing about the Sister Speak show. You've got a book that you're going to be writing, and you have officially been certified Sister Speak Show family, which means that I've got to have you come back on my show as a special featured guest, because your energy is dynamic. The way that you talk and just how transparent you are, that is what to me makes great podcasting, great listening material, and it leaves the listening audience with the opportunity to feel refreshed. And I believe that you sent a beautiful electric vibe through the Sister Speak show, and have set us on a whole new level because this is the first show that I have recorded since the 2-year anniversary of the Sister Speak show. And plus, with me having had to work, I was not able to fulfill my duties with my podcast. But since you last saw me, I'm no longer at that same place of employment. Okay then. It wasn't you no way. So we gonna praise God for that. You know this part. And I thank God for the opportunity, and I'm going to say this to everybody. You never know how long or how short your assignments will be, but you have to do them to the best of your ability. And then when it is time to go, sometimes you may leave quietly and sometimes you may have to flee. But there will be an expiration date on all of your assignments. I'm very grateful for the time that I was there because I got to meet you and I got to meet some other wonderful, wonderful customers, and I got to encourage them and pour out to them. But I'm going to tell you all this, and this is the realest talk ever. This is a very, very transparent moment. Your mental health is precious. It is something you must protect at all costs. Your dignity, your integrity, and your whole sense of who you are. You're the only one who has your back. You are the only one outside of the Most High God and his son, Jesus the Christ, and his angels assigned to your life. You're the only one who has your back in most situations. And when you are on a job, when you're on a job, do it to the best of your ability. But also know this, when your time is up, your time is up. And you never are to stay in an environment where you do not feel safe, where you are being sabotaged, where people are trying to undermine you and betray you. Now, the only way I say stay is if the Lord says, you're going to have to endure this and go through this. But if the Lord should happen to open up the jail cell and open up the doors, and the angel of the Lord happens to come and say, come on, it's time to go. Well, baby girl, baby boy, grab your stuff and leave. And that's what happened for me. And I thank the Lord for sending the angels to open up the doors and to relieve me from my duty. And I have nothing bad to say because he sent me there. I shall not talk bad about anyone because there's no need to. I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I'm ready for what's next.
That's right. I know that's right. Yeah, perfect. I couldn't have said it better.
Well, with that being said, tell everybody how they can get in touch with you.
You can get in touch with me. Let's see. Of course, via... I got so many. I'm like, which one I'm going to tell first? Good God. But, depending on what it is you can really just reach out from, even if you're having a bad day. I mean, if you feel like something is going on in your car and you can't handle it, I've dealt with a lot of mental issues. Again, like I said, I busted down the door with so many and so much. I still look back and I'm like, oh my goodness. I mean, just reach out to me. You can reach out Instagram, Facebook, Taylor Jones on Facebook. Give me just a second. I done forgot my Instagram. Good God.
It's _Taylor.
Yes, that's it. Yes, it is. It is _TAYLOOOOO. It's 5 O's and 5 R's. Let's just say that. Taylor, the traditional way, with 5 O's and 5 R's. You can reach out to me. Email Taylor Flips Houses, DFW@gmail.com. Faith Over Fear Marketing 8@gmail.com. And we're going to leave it right there because I keep going. It's so many.
Well,
those are my main ones.
Well, everybody make sure that you reach out to her for your questions. Reach out to her for encouragement. She is definitely on assignment, and you need to catch her while she's available because you never know where the Lord is going to be sending her next because she is young and on fire, and she's also been here before. And, I just want to say just take this time to edify you, and I'm very grateful that the Lord created you. And I'm very grateful that through your journey, you have made it so far with such grace. Even though I know you're not perfect, but I know who is. And I know who has his hand upon you. And I'm grateful that no weapon formed against you has prospered. that I was able to talk to you and that my listening audience was able to get to experience who you are. And I'm grateful for all the lives that you have touched, are touching, and will touch. I'm grateful that you are bold enough to go ye, therefore, on several assignments in the trenches with the people that nobody wants to deal with, but the Lord specializes in touching. He works with those who are come from conditions that need deliverance. The Lord can't work with you if you're perfect, but he loves the prostitute. He loves the gangbanger. He loves the murderer. I said it. He loves the thief. He loves the homosexual. He loves you. He doesn't love what you do, though, but he loves you. And he's never going to change on what he has already said is and isn't. But what is true is the fact that he has the power to deliver you and heal you and save you. And we got to experience that today by listening to Taylor J. We got to experience that today by hearing about her nonprofit organization that is getting ready to launch and touch many lives, Faith Over Fear. And then we got to experience this understanding about realty with Taylor Made Realty. And the fact that not only that, you can get marketing and advertising. I mean, she does a lot. And I don't call people, jacks of all trades or Jills of all trades, masters of none. No, you're a master of your trade. The only person who ever said that was jealous because they had no trade skills. So with that being said, everything that you're doing, I'm grateful for. We're grateful for, and I thank you. I thank you so much. I'm so glad. Oh my gosh. God, you are so perfect. Thank you for allowing me to meet this sister. And I just thank you, Taylor. On our way out, just share with the listening audience your but your continuing words of encouragement. Bless them with something as we get ready to end this show.
Okay. I would just like to say, keep going. Like that, if I could say nothing else, keep going. Just keep going. No matter how hard it is. If you got to cry, if you got to yell, if you got to scream, if you got to don't hurt nobody, but whatever you got to do to keep going, keep going. Like keep on. Don't break no laws. Don't hurt nobody. Don't punch nobody in the face. Keep going. Get you a prayer life. Find you some faith. If keep praying for faith. If you don't have faith, keep praying for it. Pray for it. Pray for it because it will come. It will come. I'm telling you. Because I had absolutely none for 24 years of my life. See, I wasn't this person a year ago. All of this is very new. And it's kind of scary because every time I get used to me being one way, sis, next thing I know, I done morphed into somebody else, and then somebody else, and then somebody else, and it just keeps getting better and better and better, is what I'm saying. And you too can do that, but it does take work, it takes discipline, it takes patience with yourself, because you can't also think yourself into, I'm doing too much, or I'm not doing enough, or I'm not good enough, and you need to kill that mindset now. So I would definitely just get you a prayer life, find you a balance in life, find you some balance, for sure get you some balance. You can't be doing what you want to do. Sometimes you're going to have to push that plate back. Sometimes you're going to have to not go out with that guy. Sometimes you're going to have to tell your friends, no, I can't go out this weekend. Or, whatever it is that you need to do to get yourself together. And I would say start today. Don't push it back no more. Don't say tomorrow I'm going to do it. Don't say the next day I'm going to do it. Don't say next week. Start today. Do it now. Because now is the time. You need to get started now on whatever it is. Whether it be a better you, a better mother, a better a business you want to start. Get started on it. Even if it's just research and just writing a plan down. Just get started. Because procrastination leads you absolutely nowhere. Keep going. Just keep going. Keep pushing. That's what I'm going to say. And I love you all. I bless you all. I'm just overjoyed. I've had to contain my tears this entire time just from the love I'm getting back. Just from the Facebook Live. I just can't believe it. And I'm going to just stop right there before I'm just all in tears because I'm super sensitive and I ain't got time right now.
So, but did you have a good time on the Sister Speak show?
I did. I did. I did. I came with my cup out, and it was overflowed. It has overflowed. It absolutely has.
Yay. I'm so glad. And I thank you. And of course, this is not the last time. And I'm not even going to say goodbye. I'm going to let you, I'm just going to say that I will talk to you later, and I will definitely send you a copy of this interview. Shout out to Facebook Live. Shout out to everybody who listened to this interview. Thank you for supporting and sharing her with the Sister Speak show. May all of you all be blessed. May all of you all be prosperous. And may all of you all stand still and see the salvation of the Lord and be encouraged. And with that note, my sister, you did well this evening, and we are all blessed. And we thank you. And I will definitely talk to you later, okay?
Alrighty then, sis.
Okay. Yes, take care. Taylor J, brothers and sisters.
You are listening to the Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action. A talk show for great minds that create, inspire, impact, and evolve.
Brothers and sisters, welcome back. You are listening to the Sister Speak Show. You are listening to the platform on the Sister Speak Show. I'm your host, Ayana. And let me see. Let's just see what we have going on right here quickly. It is still 99 degrees in Texas. Dallas, Texas, to be exact. Brothers and sisters, I know that you were completely blessed by this interview this evening. I know I am. I'm completely encouraged. I'm ready to get up, get out, and get something. I'm ready to do better than I did just the last second ago. And I hope you are as well. Please make sure that you listen to this show again to take your notes. Reach out to Taylor and support this sister with her mission and everything that she's doing. If you have something going on in the community, if you are a community advocate, entrepreneur, if you are an urban author, a community educator, doctor, whatever you do that is village-based within the community, we would absolutely love to have you as a special guest on the Sister Speak Show. All you have to do is email me at thesister, that's SISTA, Speak Show 8617@gmail.com. Now, some of you all are saying, well, what does SISTA stand for? Spiritual Inspiration Shared Through Arts. Spiritual Inspiration Shared Through Ayana. I was going to say Spiritual Inspiration Shared Through the Arts, then you'd be like, so is it spelled SISTTA? But anyway, brothers and sisters, that's what it means, and that's what it's about. On this specific show, well, actually on the Sister Speak Show as a whole, this is a network. Yeah, we have different segments that you can listen to. We have the platform, and I'm gonna hold it for you guys. This is an announcement. We have the platform coming to the stage, the culture climate. We have the laugh line, the tour, and what else do we have? The culture climate, the laugh line, the tour. Oh goodness! And the Suspense Files. The Suspense Files is very popular segment on my show. It has to deal with all things crime, nature, suspense, who done it, why, within our community, as well as, topics that are based on things that just lead to crimes of passion, so to speak. And now that I've said that, cue this up. I have an announcement. There is a new segment on the Sister Speak Show, and it is called The Upgrade. And here's the commercial for it.
To my sisters who are looking for new ways to elevate, enhance, and embrace their natural beauty, the Sister Speak Show has you covered with a new segment called The Upgrade, focusing on hair, skin, nails, wardrobe, mind, body, and soul. Beginning Mondays in August at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, your physical, spiritual, and mental health matters to us on the Sister Speak Show.
You are listening to the Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action. A talk show for great minds that create, inspire, impact, and evolve. Okay, brothers and sisters. Ha! The upgrade. That's right. Hair, nails, skins, wardrobe, mind, body, and soul. Say it with me. Selah. Yes, this is going to be, I'm really, really excited about this segment because, honey, we can talk about this all day long, but there are so many products and so many different ways to enhance our natural beauty and just to be beautiful from the inside out. And so we're just going to talk about these things, have some special guests on who are expert in the fields, and we are going to get you right and get you tight so you can be a blessing in everybody's sight. Okay? I'm serious about that. We are like 5 beauty tips away from being the best us. I'm telling you right now. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just being real. You know, there's some things that we used to do in the 80s, like the black lip liner. You know, I saw somebody at my job who had a black lip liner on, threw me all the way off. But you know what? With a nice, kind tone and just a little patience with somebody, you can talk somebody out of that black lip liner on their lip and say, honey, chestnut from MAC. Chestnut. You know, I'm serious about this, but we just really want to help you all and then deal with more serious beauty-related issues such as, you know, the loss of hair and the edges and just other things that we can become self-conscious about, and then we have to go off into other regimens to cover up what's going on. We really want to get everybody back to a natural way of living and feeding and taking good care of ourselves. So the upgrade is for you. It is definitely for you. So tune in tomorrow night live at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for the first episode of The Upgrade. And that's just what it's about, honey. First floor all the way to the top is where we're going. Now, throughout my shows, you will hear variations of accents. It's not because I'm mentally deranged. It's just that I am a voiceover artist, and sometimes, depending on my energy and my flow, an accent may come out. It's just what it is. So anyway, brothers and sisters, without being said, I am your host, Ayana. I've had a wonderful time conversing with you all this evening. You be blessed. You be prosperous. I want you all to pray. I want you to drink more water. Please stay hydrated. Whether it's hot or not, you need to stay hydrated. Hold your peace. Hold your peace. And hold your eye rolls. Tomorrow, you can only give 2 eye rolls and no pop-offs. No pop-offs tomorrow. And no subliminal postings. Okay? Do your job. Do it well. You know, get a higher pay increase based on your work performance. And just be a better you. You all have a wonderful evening. And I'm on my way out of here. Take care now. Trouble doesn't last always. This too shall pass. Be encouraged.